chain, the guilt of every man, the weight of all I've done, nailed into your hands. Though your love bled for me, and oh, your blood in crimson streams, and oh, your death is hell's defeat. A cross meant to kill is my victory. Oh, your amazing grace, I've seen and tasted it. It's running through my veins, I can't escape its grip. In you my soul is safe, you cover everything. Oh, your love bled for me, and oh, your blood in crimson streams, and oh, your death is hell's defeat. A cross meant to kill is my victory. Takes away our sin, it takes away our sin. The Holy Lamb of God makes us alive again, makes us alive again. Behold the Lamb of God who takes away our sin, who takes away our sin. The Holy Lamb of God makes us alive again, makes us alive again. Oh, your love bled for me, and oh, your blood in crimson streams, and oh, your death is hell's defeat. A cross meant to kill is my victory. Oh, a cross meant to kill is my victory.
Well, good evening and welcome to our Good Friday service. Before we get started, I want to give you a few words of kind of introduction. This service will be maybe a little bit different than what you're used to. It will be largely musical based, and that's intentional. We want you to sit with the music. We want you to sit with the words as you hear scripture and the last words that Jesus spoke, and meditate on them. Use the music, use this time as a time to focus on this Friday, this Good Friday, where a cross that was meant to kill became our victory. A Friday that when Jesus died, when God died, 2,000 years later, we have learned to call good because we know the end of the story. But what I want to caution you on is to not rush to the end of the story. And that is always our temptation. And so from this moment until Easter morning when you join us in worship, either here or on the Scout Hut sunrise or in the sanctuary, sit with the uncomfortableness. Sit with the fact that the story seems to be unfinished. Sit with a posture that you don't know how it ends. Because that is where God does the most beautiful, the most unexpected, the most deep work within us and within the whole world. Because 2,000 years ago, when this night happened, the night before, Jesus had sat with his 12 best friends, one of whom had already betrayed him. And he went willingly to the cross, not knowing necessarily what was going to happen in the minutes and hours to come. And he surrendered himself to the unknown. And so the invitation for us tonight is to surrender ourselves to the unknown, to the moment, to be present. And use tomorrow, if you are willing and if you are able, to pray and to sit with God so that we may rise again with Jesus on Easter morning. So all of that being said, I offer you nothing other than an invitation tonight. And that is to be still, to listen, to pray, and to be led by song and by the scriptures that you will read into the moment that God invites us to. Amen.
My past embrace, my sin forgiven. I'm blameless in your sight. My history written, my past my sin forgiven. I'm blameless in your sight.
place called Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be grieved and agitated. And then he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me." And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want." Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "So could you not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away for the second time and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." Again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the third time, saying the same words. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. My betrayer is at hand."
So I wake and spend my days loving the one who has raised me up from dead to life, from wrong to right. You're making all things beautiful. So I wake and spend my days loving the one who has raised me up from dead to life, from wrong to right. You're making all things beautiful. And mercy triumphs over judgment. We know that you delight in showing mercy. And mercy triumphs over judgment.
While Jesus was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had given them a sign saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him." At once he came up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus said to him, "Friend, Do what you are here to do." Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. Suddenly, one of those who was with Jesus put his hand on his sword, drew it, and struck the slave of the high priest, cutting off his ear. But Jesus said to him, "Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. Do you think that I cannot appeal to my Father, and he will at once send me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled, which say it must happen in this way?" At that hour, Jesus said to the crowds, "Have you come out with swords and clubs to arrest me, as though I were a bandit? Day after day I sat in the temple teaching, and you did not arrest me. But all this has taken place so that the scriptures of the prophets may be fulfilled." Then all of the disciples deserted him and fled.
All these pieces broken and scattered, in mercy gathered, mended and whole, empty-handed but not forsaken. I've been set free. I've been set free. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes, laying yourself down, raising up the broken to life. You take our failure, you take our weakness, you set your treasure in jars of clay. So take this heart, Lord, I'll be a vessel, the world to see your life in me. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now
Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "You say so." But when he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he did not answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many accusations they make against you?" But he gave him no answer, not to a single charge, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the festival, the governor was accustomed to release a prisoner for the crowd, anyone whom they wanted. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Jesus Barabbas. So after they had gathered, Pilate said to them, "Who do you want me to release for you? Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus who is called the Messiah?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that they had handed him over. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent word to him that said, "Have nothing to do with that innocent man. For today I have suffered a great deal because of a dream about him." Now the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus killed. The governor again said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus who is called the Messiah?" All of them said, "Let him be crucified." Then he asked, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified." So when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water, washed his hands before the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves." Then the people as a whole answered, "His blood be on us and on our children." So he released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified.
Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him, and they took the reed and they struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes, on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry Jesus' cross. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of the skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then 2 bandits were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests also, along with the scribes and elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he wants to, for he said, 'I'm God's son.'" The bandits who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way.
Your glory is so beautiful.
My life is yours.
My life is yours.
My hope is in you, holy. My heart you hold,
My heart you hold.
'cause you made this
Sinner,
holy and holy.
your glory is so beautiful. Jesus, I fall onto my knees in awe. And the heartbeat of my life is to worship in your light. 'Cause your glory is so beautiful. Your glory is so beautiful. Jesus, you are good. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are good. We're singing glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are good. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are away my sin. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Oh, precious is the blood that makes me white as snow. Jesus, you are good. Speak that our heart cry. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are good.
From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, this man is calling for Elijah. At once, one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice, and breathed his last.
Once was a season of infinite light, when the distance in heaven was not far behind. I was close to you. I was close to you. Carry me back to that moment in time when the colors and fragments were beautifully bright. How I long for you. How I long for you. 'Cause out here in the dark, underneath the canopy of stars, constellations falling from your heart. They tell me that I'm not alone, 'cause honestly I'm so alone. Promise me I'm not alone. How many smiles does my soul have to drive before love can collide with the mess of my life? That's not hard for you. That's not hard for you. 'Cause you see through spectrums of darkness and light, and I'm losing my way and I'm losing my mind. I can't see the truth. Help me see the truth now. 'Cause out here in the dark, underneath the canopy of stars, constellations falling from your heart. They tell me that I'm not alone, 'cause honestly I'm so alone. But promise me I'm not alone. Yeah. How about the moon on my face, the memory of a sun that's been shining for days. You've already been in this desolate place. You've already been here and you've made a way. Pinpricks of glory strung out across the sky. Memories of darkness undone by the light, reminding me that you're right here